everyone, and a very warm welcome. My name is Clavin. I'm a Microsoft Business Applications MVP and also a solutions consultant at Nutrien. In this demo, we are going to look at an advanced scenario. We are going to look at merging. We are going to look at creating bookmarks. We will also create a table of content for our merged document. All this using the Nutrient document converter. So without wasting any further time, let's get into the demo. So here I have a few documents. Let's consider that my boss has told me to merge them into a single file. He wants bookmarks for easy navigations and also needs a table of content right in the front. How can I achieve all of this using Power Automate? The answer is simple. If you have a subscription for the Nutrient document converter, it is possible. And I'll show you how. So let's quickly go into make.powerautomate.com and let's create a new flow. I'm going to create an instant flow. I'm going to add the manual trigger. So the first thing, the prerequisite, is having the Nutrient document converter subscription. If you have a subscription, you will have access to the merge action. The merge action is where the real magic happens. So in the merge action, I can pass in an array of documents and merge them into a single file. I know that I spoke about things such as bookmarks as well as table of content, and yes, we are going to cover this in our demo. But before that, the real magic happens in the merge. So we need to understand the merge needs two things, the file content and the file name. And we need to get them. Where are the files? The files are in SharePoint. So I need to type in SharePoint. And in SharePoint, I need to get the file content, right? And the file name. So I have the files in a particular folder named as sample documents. So I need to get files, plural, right? Not just one file, multiple files. So I will search for an action named as get files because it will return me all the files. I will pass it the site address, and I'm going to pass it the Nutrient document converter library name. To this library, my files are in the sample document. So I need to point it to the sample document. So I'm going to go and point it to the sample documents. So this will limit the entries to the folder. Finally, I can either include or not include the nested folder. I'll leave it at default because my folder doesn't have nested folders, right? So that's good. If you have, you can include it. If you don't, exclude it. However, the next action would be to get the file content. But before even getting the file content, if we quickly go back to the merge action, you will see that it needs an array. So we need to define an array. And I'll click on initialize variable. And I'll give this a variable a name. So I'll say merge array. I'll just copy this and also rename it so that if someone later comes in, my Power Automate is readable. And the type is an array. Now I have initialized the variable. I have the file names because I know that get files will return me file name with extension. Next, I need to get the file content. So I'll say get file content. I'll click on it. I will click on the drop down, click on retail, and I will put in none other than the identifier. Perfect. It automatically decorates it in the for each loop. So now I have the file names, I have the file content. The next step would be to go and create none other than the merge array. So I need to append the file names and the file contents. So I'm going to use append to array variable. The value like this. The first thing I need to pass it is the file content. So I'll click on the lightning icon, and the second is I need to pass in the file name with extension. So here if you see, I have got the file content, I have got the file name, and next all I need to do is pass it in here. So I'll click on the lightning icon or the button and I'll pass in the merge array. Finally, let's say that I want to create the file back into SharePoint itself. So I'll say create file and I'll write the file back into a folder. So retail, and here I will write it back into process document. I'll say merged.pdf. You can come up with a better name, but for this demo, let's keep it simple. And I'll say merged demo. And I'll click on save. At this point, what it's doing is that it should get through the documents and it should create a single document with all the documents together. So just say continue. I'll just say run. Perfect. So it should create the document in the folder. So I'll go into the processed folder. So it has merge.pdf, which is opened a few seconds ago. I'll say open in browser. You see that the document has been merged. It has got the Visio file. It has got the PDFs. It has got the presentation and everything. At this point, you have achieved what your boss has told you. A bit of it, right? Not the entire thing. Let's push it a little bit ahead. So what I'm going to do out here is I'm going to go and firstly add bookmarks. So if I open this file again in the browser and I'll leave it open for now, you see that it just has one bookmark, which is actually the bookmark for the Visio file. I need bookmarks for each and every file so that it's easy to navigate. If I want to go to a PowerPoint presentation, I should be able to directly jump into it. So to do that, I'm going to add a compose action. So compose action, I'll say compose file name and bookmarks. Okay. File name with extension. Then I'll say comma. We'll put a single quote, I'll put a semicolon, I'll say true. Now this is the important piece that you need to say true because you need to add bookmarks. And then I will pass in any property of my choice. For this demo, I'm going to use the name. Okay, so the name would be this. At this point, it tells me that there's some problem with the expression. So let me quickly see what can be the problem with the expression. I think I missed a comma out here, so I'll just put a comma and the expression looks good. Next, what I want to do is compose out here. So I will add the output of the compose to the append to array variable. And that's pretty much it. That should create the bookmarks for me. I'll save the flow and I'll quickly test the flow. So let the flow do its magic and let's wait for a few minutes and add the bookmarks as well. The important point is it's adding a bookmark so that we can easily navigate through the various documents within the merged document. So that's going to be really, really interesting. So the flow has completed. Let's quickly go back to SharePoint, refresh it a few seconds ago, and I can quickly maybe open in the browser. So here, my friends, you will see that it has nicely created the bookmarks for easy navigation. So you see, it's awesome, right? And if your document already had bookmarks, it is honoring it all by itself. So this is good. Let's make it better. So let me edit the flow. And the final step that we are going to add to this document is creating a table of content. So next, what we need to do is add a table of content. So here I have the merge action. I'm creating the file. So to add the table of content, I'm going to use the convert document action. I'm going to pass it the source file name. So it's going to be merged.pdf. I have hard coded it. Going to pass it the processed file content. And finally, I'm going to click on advanced parameters. And I'm going to pass in an override. Okay. So the override is an XSLT file. Now, don't be worried about the complexity of the file because at Nutrient, we will provide you this file so that you can copy paste it. So it tells me some basics. So it tells me it will create a table of content, it will add it to the front, it will add the name, index. Now, all of these things can be modified. And I'm also using some basic CSS out here for the look and feel, right? So don't worry about the XSLT. If you need it, let us know and we will provide it. Just drop us a line at sales@nutrient.io or support@nutrient.io. Finally, I will pass in the file content, which is the processed file content, and I will save it. At this point, I should be able to test my flow. So let me quickly go and run the flow and hit done. And let's wait for the output. So let me quickly open this document out here. I will say open in browser. And here, my friends, we have a table of content. Now I can specify, I can actually go to a particular file by just clicking on the table of content out here. I hope this quick demonstration was informative. Thank you for your time. Have a great day and bye-bye for now.